You are watching the adventures of Daphne and her gal pals, starring Taylor and Riri. The gal pals. This week's episode, another day at the grind. With the expansion of Daphnes Studio, the girls were noticing that they needed more employees there. When Taylor and Riri reported for work, they were given the assignment of floaters again. The pillows were dumped into the large bins. And today it was Taylor and Riri's job to put them on the shelves. With the addition of the home decorating department, Daphnes Studio was going to be hiring soon. But until then, the girls were it. So today the girls were sent over to stock the pillows. It was a lot of moving and bending. The girls would definitely get in their exercise doing this work. Finally, they could see the bottom of the bin. The girls walked around the room, inspecting the pillows, making sure that they were pushed in properly. Everything seemed to be very neat. The gal pals looked over to the other side of the warehouse, and that was when they spotted the mattresses. There was mattresses stacked against the one wall. After they explored the mattresses, their next assignment was to go to the mailroom. Of course, Riri had to climb onto the mattresses. And finally, Taylor told her to come down. Remember, we're still at work. The girls sat down for a minute and talked about their next assignment. The girls were given the instruction to get an order ready to be shipped out. Once the pillows and the pillowcases were put into the plastic containers, they were then to be put into the mailing envelope. Once all of the items were put into the mailer, then the girls went over to the scale to weigh it. After carefully bagging each item, it was then placed into the bag. Riri had worked the scales before, so she was familiar. The girls finished up the assignment in the mailroom, and then it was time for them to get off. Yes, time to go home. After getting home, they headed straight to Taylor's room. The paint had dried in the room, and it was now time for them to put in her furniture. The girls had moved the headboard and the footboard and slats into the room earlier, along with the mattress. So all they had to do was move it into place. Taylor had decided to put her bed in the middle of the room, similar to Riri's setup. So with headboard and footboard in place, it was time to put that mattress on. Riri and Taylor recognized the mattress as one of the ones that were similar to the ones in the warehouse. Daphnes Studio, they must really be large. We never realized it. They manufactured mattresses. They positioned the mattress on the bed. Once it was in place, then Taylor went off and got the sheets and the pillowcases. Taylor had found these luxurious satin sheets to match her bed. They were gorgeous. They felt like butter. The gal pals worked together, and they finally got that bottom fitted sheet on. Now time for the top sheet. The two work together as a team. They tucked in the bottom and folded back the top. And it wasn't long before they were ready for the pillowcases. Taylor had decided that she wanted 3 pillows on her bed. And positioned them at the head of the bed. One by one, they got all the pillows into the pillowcases. And now it was time for her comforter. The girls pulled the comforter from the bag. It took the 2 of them to do it. Riri told Taylor how much she liked the comforter she had chosen. When Taylor and Riri had first started discussing their bedrooms, Taylor had decided on beiges and tans and browns. She had stuck with the color palette that she had chosen. Amazingly, she had found a comforter that had the same fabric that was made onto her headboards. The girls finished up making the bed. Taylor left the room to get the ladder so that they could put up the curtains. Before she could get out of the room, Riri was laying on her bed. Taylor made her get off of her bed. So Riri straightened the bed out and tucked up the pillow, fluffed it up a little. And she walked to the basket and got the set of curtains out. Riri told Taylor, "Come off the ladder, help me put these curtains on the rod." So Taylor came over and the girls put the panels onto the curtain rod. Taylor got back onto the ladder. And they worked together and finally got that first rod up. Now it was time for them to put the second panels up. They got the second set up, and everything did. It just looked so gorgeous. But for now, she was in love. Wow, look how gorgeous my window looks, Riri. And Taylor went to put the ladder away. And when she came back, yes, again, Riri had gotten onto her bed. She hopped up when she seen Taylor come into the room. The girls stood with their backs up against the wall and glanced around the room at how pretty everything looked. And Taylor remembered, she had forgotten her nightstand. She ran out of the room and then she came back pushing her nightstand. Once the nightstand was in place, Riri had to go and be nosy. Riri had to be the first to try out the two drawers that was on the nightstand. The girls climbed onto the bed and just laid back. They were a little tired, but mostly they just laid back and stared at their work. Can you believe this is the same room? Boy, what a little paint will do. First of all, who would have dreamed that they would become roommates? And who could have believed that they would move to Newcastle? But most of all, who would have believed that they would have purchased their very own home? Taylor left out of the room and came back. And in her arms, she had Taylor's pet, Mutt. She handed Mutt to Taylor. And left the room. Taylor laid on the bed, holding her pet Mutt, thinking back on her day. Even though Taylor was a little tired, she thought back on her day and just thought about everything that she had shared with her Mutt and her friend. and how much more they still had to do. Taylor left Mutt alone in her room while she went to take her shower. Mutt circled the room, looking all around for Taylor. She was nowhere to be found. Be sure to tune in for next week's episode of The Adventures of Daphne and her gal pals. If you miss an episode, please feel free to look for us on YouTube. You can find The Adventures of Daphne and her gal pals, or go to NCTV 45 and look under children's programming.